There is a strange reaction that happens when you stay silent. Not aggressive silence. Not passive silence. Just calm silence. And suddenly, some people start revealing things they never intended to show. Their insecurity. Their impatience. Their fear. Not because you did anything, but because silence removes their protection. If you have ever noticed that certain people become uncomfortable when you stop talking, stop reacting, or stop explaining yourself, you are not imagining it. Social psychology explains this clearly. Silence does not threaten confident people. It threatens insecure ones. Insecure people rely heavily on external feedback. They need reactions. They need reassurance. They need confirmation that they are seen, understood, approved of. When feedback is present, they feel stable. When it disappears, their inner noise becomes unbearable. This is why silence creates pressure. Not on you. On them. When you stay silent, insecure people begin filling the space. They talk more. They explain themselves unnecessarily. They justify actions you never questioned. You did not interrogate them. The silence did. Social psychology calls this projection under uncertainty. When people cannot read you, they project their internal state outward. Their anxiety becomes accusation. Their fear becomes suspicion. Their insecurity becomes aggression. You may have noticed this pattern. You stop responding emotionally. And suddenly someone says, "Why are you judging me? Why are you being cold? Why are you acting strange?" But you never judged. You never accused. They revealed themselves. Here is the key insight. Confident people are comfortable with silence. They do not rush to fill it. They do not assume hostility. They do not feel attacked. Insecure people do the opposite. They experience silence as a threat. Why? Because silence removes control. When you speak, react, or explain, insecure people can adjust. They can manage impressions. They can manipulate tone. They can redirect conversation. Silence removes all of that. This is why insecure people often escalate around quiet individuals. They push for reactions. They provoke responses. They test boundaries. They are not trying to hurt you. They are trying to regain stability. Social psychology explains that insecurity seeks certainty. And silence offers none. So the mind fills the gap. Often with fear. You might notice insecure people start contradicting themselves. They say one thing. Then say the opposite. They accuse you of intentions you never had. They become overly defensive. This is not because you changed. It is because they lost their mirror. In conversation, reactions act like mirrors. They show people how they are being received. When you remove that mirror, insecure people panic. They no longer know how they appear. This is why silence exposes people faster than confrontation. Confrontation gives them something to fight. Silence gives them nothing. And nothing is terrifying to insecurity. You may notice that insecure people often mistake silence for superiority. They say, "You think you are better. You look down on others. You are arrogant." But confidence does not accuse silence. Insecurity does. Social psychology shows that insecure individuals often externalize discomfort. Instead of asking themselves why they feel unsettled, they blame the environment. And silence becomes the target. You might feel tempted to break the silence. To reassure them. To clarify intentions. To smooth things over. But here is the danger. When you do that, you teach them that discomfort will be resolved by your effort. And the pattern continues. Silence is not punishment. It is neutrality. And neutrality removes emotional leverage. This is why silence feels powerful without being aggressive. You are not asserting dominance. You are simply not participating in insecurity management. Another important insight. Silence does not expose everyone. It only exposes those who depend on reactions. People who are secure remain calm. People who are insecure unravel. This is how silence becomes a filter. It reveals who can regulate themselves and who cannot. Who respects boundaries and who needs control. Who feels stable inside and who relies on others to feel okay. You may have noticed that insecure people often escalate in stages. First curiosity. Then discomfort. Then accusation. Then withdrawal or aggression. Each stage is a reaction to internal instability. Not to you. Social psychology also shows that insecure people often misinterpret neutrality as rejection. Because they rely on constant affirmation to feel accepted. When affirmation stops, they feel abandoned. This is why silence can trigger dramatic emotional responses. Tears. Anger. Passive aggression. None of which are caused by silence. They are caused by dependency. You are not responsible for managing that. Silence is not cruelty. It is self-regulation. Quiet people often underestimate this effect. They believe silence is invisible. But to insecure minds, silence is loud. It amplifies everything they are trying to hide from themselves. This is why insecure people often reveal contradictions, motives, and intentions without being asked. They explain too much. They defend prematurely. They accuse vaguely. All signs of inner instability. Here is an important reframe. If silence makes someone uncomfortable, it does not mean you are cold. It means they were relying on you for emotional regulation. Healthy people regulate themselves. Insecure people outsource regulation. Silence cuts off that supply. You may notice that once you stay silent long enough, some people retreat. They avoid you. They become distant. This is not rejection. It is relief. They no longer have to face their insecurity. Others may adapt. They slow down. They become respectful. They adjust communication. These are the people who can grow. Silence does not destroy relationships. It reveals their foundation. Here is the most important truth. Silence does not create insecurity. It exposes it. You are not intimidating. You are simply not feeding chaos. Final thought. If silence makes someone reveal fear, anger, or accusation, you did not provoke it. You removed distraction. And insecurity cannot hide without noise.